This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.
When Wii Sports launched back in 2006, the joy of all 5 sports was immediate. Picking up a Wii remote and swinging it like a tennis racket, or mimicking a bowling motion was natural and downright enchanting. There was nothing quite like it. Focused on personal high-score chasing and local multiplayer, Wii Sports was truly a revolution. Flash forward 16 years, and after nearly a decade of dormancy, Wii Sports is back in the form of Nintendo Switch Sports. In the interim, motion controls were milked to death and nearly killed as the Wii name faded away. Nintendo Switch Sports appears to continue Nintendo's Switch-era trend of repurposing popular Wii concepts as fresh titles, a la Ring Fit Adventure to Wii Fit. In terms of immediacy, Switch Sports sticks the landing. Bowling, tennis, and chambara, or swordfighting, are all just as easy to pick up as they were in the Wii era. And the 3 new sports, soccer, volleyball, and badminton, are all accessible and varying degrees of fun. With the Joy-Con and motion controls, the sports play wonderfully well. It's just that Switch Sports is essentially an online game now. That makes it tough to review before launch, because, well, as of this writing, the online portion of Switch Sports isn't accessible to reviewers. To that end, this won't be a full review. We're going to hold out until we get time with the online portion to see what's all there, because that's where unlockables are found, where equipment is earned, and where you can enter pro leagues and compete with people online. That's where the points matter. That's the only place any kind of meaningful progression is. In fact, that's where the overwhelming majority of Switch Sports is. Switch Sports is, for better or worse, a heavily online experience. This is not the local multiplayer wonderkind that its predecessor was, although it's still fun slapping around balls and shuttlecocks in the same room as a friend. New tweaks, such as bowling happening simultaneously, vastly improve the local play, but if you want more than the stock character clothing, or more than the default equipment for each sport, you have to venture online. You can still play all the sports with somewhere between 1 and 4 players, but there's a good chance that there are entire modes, like survival bowling, shown in previous videos, that are strictly online. I'm looking forward to playing it online and expect to play a bunch when the time comes. That time is not for this review in progress. From my time with raucous single-player and local multiplayer matches, I am enthralled by the suite of sports available so far. Bowling is still the undisputed king in my eyes, with the Joy-Con doing an admirable job of replicating the feel of the Wii Remote. The Trick Lane mode, where every frame has unique obstacles, is one of the few variants offline and makes for an amusingly chaotic experience, as some lanes are borderline impossible. Tennis is fine, though I find myself more amused with what amounts to a tennis variant in badminton. The latter almost feels like table tennis from Wii Sports Resort, but with a different enough spin to stand out from the familiar tennis. Tennis also benefits from being playable for 4 players, whereas badminton caps at 2. Chambara, or sword fighting to the Wii Sports Resort players out there, is enjoyable, and the 3 different sword types add a decent amount of strategy. On 2 ends of the spectrum are the last 2 sports, soccer and volleyball. Soccer is electric. It's essentially simplified Rocket League with motion controls. It's one of the few that requires 2 Joy-Con to play, as the left analog stick moves your player and the right is used to send out motion-controlled kicks. Soccer has the most vibrant amount of offline options as well, with 1-on-1, 4-on-4, and shootout. The head-to-head modes are short and tense timed affairs where you need to be aware of your teammates and opponent's placement, while also feathering a stamina meter to try to set up a shot on goal. The shootout mode is goofy, as you make use of the leg strap, available with the physical release of Switch Sports, or if you already have it, Ring Fit Adventure, to time shots on goal. A future update will add leg strap functionality for the main game of soccer, which sounds like amazing chaos and also a decent workout. Nothing else in the game supports the leg strap that we know of. Volleyball, on the other hand, is the closest Switch Sports has to a dud. It's a good representation of the sport in video game form, but it's more rigid and structured. Playing volleyball feels more like rehearsing a dance than playing a game. It's always played in 2-on-2, and after a serve starts play, every side goes into a routine bump, set, and spike, where you just need to time your Joy-Con swing up and or down to move the game along. Adding more depth to the sport might have gone too far into making it more complex for the pick-up-and-play immediacy of Switch Sports, but the end result is still merely okay at best when compared to the other 5 on offer. Switch Sports will be adding golf in a future update, so there will be more than the 6 sports available on launch day in the future. While the online could sway the eventual review score one way or the other, I'm extremely positive on Switch Sports and look forward to playing it more with friends and family locally, as well as hopping online and unlocking new gear and equipment and trying to join the pro leagues. We'll be back soon with a final verdict on Nintendo Switch Sports. Until then, get excited for launch on April 29th, and maybe I'll see you online. Thanks for watching. Bye.
This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Did you know that Nintendo World Report is funded directly by fans like you? When you support Nintendo World Report on Patreon, you get immediate access to multiple exclusive podcasts every month, exclusive Discord channels, an early look at select content, and more, all for as little as $1 a month. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.